Welcome ladies and gentlemen to this week's edition of The Map. It's been a huge week in regional southern football in Tasmania. My name is Tubes Taylor and I'd like to welcome our panel for this week. Of course, Aaron Roberts. Peach, welcome mate.
Yeah, thanks. Great to be here again, Tubes.
And we're very lucky to be joined by our man from the Hobart Tigers, the co-captain Liam Azzopardi. Thanks for joining us, Liam.
Thanks for having me, boys.
It's been a big week in footy, as we said. We'll go through the results from the SFL. It was New Norfolk running out victors by 32 points over Sorrel. The Huonville Lions won by 35 points over Cygnet. Brighton was defeated by the Tigers by 98 points and Claremont won convincingly by 31 points over Lindisfarne. And Aaron, you have the Old Scholars results for us.
Yeah, absolutely. St Virgil's versus Dose. St Virgil's in the game for a while, but in the end Dose ran away by over 10 goals in that game. Richmond Hutchins, we'll see a little bit of that footage later on. Big win for Richmond out there in Richmond. And University and OHA played a pretty close game, but in the end University snuck up by 2 goals.
So the Duff TV cameras were out there at Pontville Oval. Liam, you were there too, mate. And Aaron,
yeah,
as well. How did you see that game?
It was quite different because Liam was running around playing the football and chasing it. It was extremely windy. Gusts of wind of over 55 kilometres an hour. When I arrived, the players of Hobart were running down towards the western side of the ground. They were trying to kick the ball to each other. Most of the balls were hitting the ground. But Liam, what were your thoughts on firstly your team and some of the new players that have come in this year?
Yeah, that's it. So firstly, I guess the game on the weekend, really tough encounter. As you mentioned before, pretty blustery conditions. I reckon there was a 6 or 7 goal breeze going down towards the highway end. So really tough day at the office for both sides. But we were happy with our performance in the end. We had a couple of younger players that really stood up for us. Some new guys as well. I thought Ollie Farrad, come across from Kingston, was really good. Jane Charlton in the middle as well. Really gave us a lot of drive and a bit of grunt in there going forward against a pretty big, well-statured sort of Brighton midfielder, strong bodies in there. So yeah, from our perspective, it's good to get the win and yeah, really tough, well thought out game.
Just touching on Brighton there, you did mention their midfield. They surprised me in the footage that we've seen, and we're playing over the top here right now. They surprised me with some of their bullock and midfielders.
Yeah, they had a couple of really just big bulls in there. So Kyle Clark had a brilliant game, I thought. And I think Daniel Scott was the other one in there who played really well and really gave our midfielders a run for their money and gave the Brighton forwards first use of the ball a lot of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Stu was another good player, and also Pate got a bit of ball on the outside, kicked a really good goal in that first quarter into the breeze. Just really interesting though, I've seen Hobart play twice against Brighton last year. I think actually both teams have improved, Liam, even though it was a big win for Hobart. What has been the instructions from Mark Beck, the coach of Hobart, in relation to the game style? Because I've definitely seen a change, and how's it evolved? Yeah,
that's right. So I think we obviously wanted to bring in a more professional approach to the way we play football and the way we prepare, and that obviously flows onto the way we play on the field. So being a little bit more structured, setting up behind the ball, just being organised, and every player being aware of where they need to be in the structures, where they need to deliver the ball at any point in time, and just being a little bit more predictable to our teammates as well. So being a bit more well drilled and knowing where we want to deliver the ball, and obviously our forwards getting to that spot as well.
Yeah, I noticed that you and Young and a few others there combined really well. You did seem to know exactly which direction you were going, and on a blustery day it's really hard to know which is the attacking side of the ground. So yeah, you did a pretty good job for most of the day off half-back.
Yeah, that's right. We've got quite an experienced backline, and we think that's one of our strengths. We've been able to sort of move it around on the weekend and switch it from side to side. We probably got caught on the defensive side a little bit too much and got bogged down a bit there. But once we sort of cleaned that up, we were able to move the ball a bit quicker forwards and give our forwards a bit more of an opportunity.
Now Reeves and Hadfield kicked multiples. Those guys like kicking the goals. The big fella kicked 7, Reeves, and Hadfield kicked 6.
Yep, they'll be pretty happy with themselves. I think Hadfield felt a bit hard done by last week. He thought he had 4 and he got 1 taken off him, so he'll be happy to get a bit of a return to form this week. But Reeves has been great up there for us. Received a lot of attention from the Brighton players. Obviously dropped a few players back behind the ball, so he was competing with 2 or 3 opponents from time to time. But that's up to us to be smarter in the way we get it to him and smarter to how we move around him in the forward line as well.
Aaron, one of the things that I was impressed with was the way that the coach of Brighton, Matty Smith, spoke at quarter time.
Yeah, actually we were set up really close to Matthew Smith for quite a bit of the time with the camera there. And he was enthusiastic throughout the day. And he talked a lot about being bold and playing a structured footy which took it on. And he said it didn't matter if your decision, you was hope, make your decisions correct, it doesn't end up going to someone, that's fine. Keep making the right decisions and the decisions that we've worked on. So that was really positive from him, and he was really positive to a lot of the younger players that Brighton had.
As did that show on the field?
I think so. They were a lot more well structured than we thought. I thought they ran in waves really well. So there were a couple of times there where they were able to run through the middle with some link-up handballs and nearly caught us out a few times going into the forward line there. So yeah, it was certainly a tough day at the office for us, and they really gave us a good game.
All right, now we managed to catch up with the man up there at the TCA there, Aaron.
Yeah, Randall Emmett, who's anyone who's been past on the Domain recently has seen a transformation at the ground there. So significant redevelopment's been on 3 stages, and so Randall Emmett's given us a bit of a rundown and is talking a little bit about the work, because the first game's this weekend, isn't it? Land against Cygnet. I bet you're excited about finally actually getting to touch the turf. Yeah,
that's right. We're really pumped to be back at the TCA. It looks fantastic at the moment, as I'm sure you saw today. They've taken a bit of a shaving off the middle there, so you can actually see across the other side of the ground from the stand, which is handy.
So you don't need a Sherpa to get back up into the middle?
No, that's right. That's right. You can see what's going on that far cricket net's wing, which is nice. So yeah, we're really excited. We haven't been able to train there just yet, but it's going to be really good to get on the ground and run out on our home turf.
All right, well, thanks very much for joining us, Liam. It's great to see you, and thanks very much for coming into the studios and giving us your time. We might catch up with Rendell Emmett now, who's up at the TCA.
It's absolutely fantastic. We're very, very excited here. Some development has already taken place. We've already done some of the change rooms in the cricket centre and change rooms in the visitors' rooms. But as you can see here, this ground has been resurfaced and is absolutely magnificent. Real credit to the Hobart City Council with the work they've put in and the sophisticated drainage system. It's going to be one of the best surfaces in southern Tasmania.
It's true to say that the facilities up here at the TCO have probably been one of the things that's held the club back for some time. So what do you expect will be the benefits coming from all the developments that are happening here in the coming years?
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing is that it's an old ground. It's got a long history, and the club was founded in 1947. So you've got to start building on that. As far as the club goes, if you have a profile, then you start to attract better players, better sponsors, more supporters and that sort of thing. So some of the things we're doing is developing parts of the ground like new change rooms, gymnasiums, a 200-person conference facility so that you can watch the football as well as view over the city, so that'll be going to private functions as well. So putting that all together, it builds a profile, and we've been working on that for some time, and hence this year we've probably recruited better than any other year, so we're starting to build our strength by strength, and it's a work in progress, but we're very confident that we'll make well into the finals this year.
Old Scholars now are joined in the studio by Hutchins coach Mitch Williamson. Welcome, Mitch.
Thanks, Stu. Peachy, good to be here.
Thanks very much for coming in, mate. A bit of a tough week for you there at the Hutchins Footy Club.
Yeah, it was a tough day at the office, that's for sure. Comprehensively outplayed by Richmond, but they're a pretty good unit, and the good thing about footy is we've got another week this week to hopefully bounce back.
Absolutely. I think you were just outplayed a little bit through the midfield. Polanowski in the middle there just gave his on-baller's first use of the footy.
Yeah, spot on, yeah. We were towed up through the midfield there. Stoppages and contested ball numbers were right down for us, and it makes it hard when you're a fair way behind in those two stats to win a game of footy.
And they've got a really well-drilled backline too through there with Dunn and Co down there running through the backline.
Yeah. Well, Alex Gilmore's been there for 4 years now, so he's got the side, like you say, very well drilled, and yeah, 4 years at the helm, and obviously 3 grand finals as well. So yeah, they're a tough unit, and they play their home ground really well, and we found that out the hard way on the weekend.
Very blustery down there, Peachy.
Wasn't it? Mitch, just interested, who had you had out on the weekend? A few players were missing. Who exactly were they, and what did that do to the game for you?
Yeah, look. I think all sides have got their outs at the moment, but yeah, we did have a few keys out for us, and like you spoke about with Polanowski and the rucky really dominated the game, I thought, and give them first use. So we had Henry Johnson out and available on the weekend. He'll come back in this weekend. He was one of their better players the week before against Doses, so that was a bit of a loss for us to combat Polanowski there, but he'll be back in this week, as well as Will Hay, who's, along with Henry's come across from Hobart City. He's a key post for us down back, so he was sorely missed as well. And on top of that, Tom Allwright, we should get him back hopefully this weekend. So there'll be some handy inclusions. There's some other guys, but who are unavailable till about round 6. But yeah, we'll just move forward with who we've got.
I was really impressed with Ferraccio. Can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Luigi. He's come across from a soccer background, Luigi, and he's focused on footy this year, which is good for us. And debuted in round 1 and had a really solid game there. And I think he's improved again on the weekend across half forward and pinched it a little bit for us on ball. So definitely played his role, and he'll get some further opportunity.
Well, if he gets a bit of a few games, all the Italians will come across and start supporting Hutchins. There's around about 3,000 or 4,000 of them floating around Hobart somewhere. Plenty of sponsors there as well. Yeah,
that's right. Sponsorship. He works at D'Angelo's too, and we get our pizzas for Thursday night. So he slips a few freebies in there for us as well.
Maybe that's the problem, mate. The heavy pizzas on a Thursday night. They're great pizzas out there at D'Angelo. Well, hello, D'Angelo.
They are good pizzas. Yeah, we've got to get Zambiera in there too. They fix us up occasionally, but Luigi's really good, and we're looking forward to seeing some more of him through the seniors this year.
So this week at Gilston Bay, OHA, what's your instruction for the boys?
Yeah, look, we've got to get back to winning that contested style of footy around the source at stoppage and getting our stoppage numbers up and those contested ball numbers. We've got to give our forwards a bit of a look, and not only that, I think our backline really batted all manfully on the weekend, but it was just through that midfield section, and then when we did get the ball forward, it weren't clean entries, and we didn't get enough sort of pressure out of our forward line to help out our transition for our backs there. So yeah, it was disappointing, but if we can rectify those key areas, it's going to be another tough task against OHA, who are travelling pretty well. But yeah, we think if we can get on top of those areas, we'll give ourselves a good chance.
Thanks, Mitch. Now we've got one curly question for you, and it comes from our man Peach. Peach, what's your curly one, mate?
Well, it's kind of a vox pops. We're asking everyone we see in the street, Mitch, on what's going on in football in Tasmania. I've got a few opinions, but I'm really interested in what do you think's the state of football currently in this wonderful state of ours? Yeah,
look, there's obviously been a lot of talk and a lot of publicity about it. It's probably not in a great state for Tassie footy. I've played a bit of TSL and really enjoyed the product, but at the moment it's probably not really a statewide competition with what's happening in the northwest. But look, I think it really is a good product and something that can probably flourish. But it all depends on the model you want to go down. And at the end of the day, if you want to go back to the really going hard at the youth programs and investing in your Mariners programs, and maybe having a Tassie side on top of that, then maybe the statewide league has to fall away. I'm not sure, but I think it's just one or the other. Really need to invest hard and get the funding behind it, and then also the support from the Tassie community.
When you're as a player at Clarence and now with Hutchins, what do you hear from the governing body, which is the state body of AFL in Tasmania? I mean, do you get any communication from them? Do you hear anything? Does the president speak? I mean, what's the communication level like?
I think as a player, from a player's point of view, you're just focused on playing footy. I mean, I think they might talk amongst themselves as a player, but and you get updates from presidents and that sort of thing. But as a player, you're probably just focused on getting a kick on the weekend, and you might have one eye here and there on what's going to happen in the next year. But at the moment, I know in terms of footy, you're just all about trying to play your best on a weekend and get the 4 points. But it is interesting to see what's going to come about on June 30, is it? I think we're going to hear more. So it'll be interesting to see what that brings about with the steering committee, and I guess we'll go from there and find out.
Rightio, well, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much, Mitch Williamson, for joining us in the studios today. We're going to run through quickly now the games coming up. The Old Scholars have OHA and Hutchins at Gilston Bay. Now, that's their 100-year centenary anniversary out there, so they've got a big function happening out at OHA. We've got Richmond versus Dosa at Richmond, and of course University playing St Virgil's again at University.
What's that all about?
Don't know, they got them 2 rounds
Maybe
ago.
Maybe the Excel sheet didn't match up.
Yeah, perhaps. And you've got the SFL games there.
Yeah, the SFL, Huonville versus Norfolk, intriguing game down in Huonville. Sorrel taking on Clare might be a tough game for Sorrel. Dodgers very Brighton, so Brighton have got another tough game, but you never know, this is a chance for them to maybe get a win. And Hobart Signet, first game at the TCA ground, and we were chatting to Liam previously, and he was saying they haven't even touched the grass, not allowed anywhere near it, so they're going to be looking forward to that one, Hobart, on Saturday.
So next week the Duff TV cameras will be out at a couple of grounds, Aaron. We're going to start up at the TCA for the very first game on the newly renovated TCA ground with the game between the Hobart Tigers and the Signet Footy Club.
Yeah, and then we're going to head across. Duff's going to get in the Duffmobile. He's going to head across the bridge over to Gilston Bay, and it's OHA. They're going to take on Hutchins. So Mitch Williamson, he's going to try and get the boys up again. OHA 100 years for that football club. So get around the Gilston Bay Oval there on Saturday.
Yeah, terrific to see 100 years of footy here in our great state. That's it for the map this week. Peach, thanks very much for coming on.
My pleasure.
My name is Tubes Taylor. We'll see you next week here on the map. Well, as the Furphy player of the day starts out here with Azzopardi, he goes out wide, finds his teammate in Caulfield. Caulfield against the stiff breeze, touches it to the ground, clever stuff, then looks inboard, very well corralled down there. I think that was our man Howlett. It comes into the middle of the ground, quickly chipped forward by the Robins up to half forward, and then Woodward does really well here to get his handball back. And it's picked up by that man there who just chips it into the middle of the ground, but coming through hard is Pate, who throws it onto the boot with a massive torpedo punt, and it dribbles through the middle for a big 6-pointer. He is the Furphy player of the day right there, Aaron.